Hello and welcome to another Forgotten North Gaming recording with myself, Scott,
and Stan,
and we're back to talk about the upcoming Triple Crown Wargaming GT.
Yep, 8 days away.
8 days away and counting at the time of recording. So, as you can see on the thumbnail there, it's 20th and 21st of June.
Yep.
This time, change of location.
Yes, it's gone from the very pretty Colchester.
Yes, and it was a lovely venue. Smaller, but lovely. Staff were excellent.
Had to show your ankle, secret handshakes.
Yeah, but it was a lovely venue, and it's been summer. We've been a lot for a lot of events now, and never let us down.
Lovely, but this time
Bigger and
next
better.
Week we'll be in Southend-on-Sea.
Southend-on-Sea.
In some penny arcade or having a donkey ride on the beach.
Well, I mean, Stan might have a donkey ride on the beach. It's going to take a hell of a donkey for this guy to ride. I want to have an elephant ride somewhere.
Or alternatively, just
a
few beers.
Yeah, just a few beers on a Friday night, chilled out before the event. So, God, I mean, this time it's in a new venue, 60-man event.
60-man, big
exciting.
Next to what they call an airport.
Which you can't fly direct from Newcastle.
No, so we could have flown to Alicante and then flown.
Yeah, which makes perfect sense. So, unsurprisingly, we'll be driving again. So, road trip this time next week. But yes, we just thought we'd do a bit of a recording to chat about the very early feelings about the event.
Yeah.
Our lists.
Yeah.
Why we've taken them, and just some general thoughts pre-events. So then when we do the post-event, you can see how absolutely wrong we were.
And it's closed lists.
It is closed lists.
For the Triple Crown, so we're either being really arrogant and saying you can all have our lists, or really stupid, I can't decide yet.
I mean, judging by how we normally roll, both. But probably stupid rather than arrogant, I would suggest. I don't mind people saying lists.
I don't think there's any secret sauce in all this.
Nah, there's nothing secret in there. Like, I get some lists will be out there with tricks. I don't have any of that.
No.
I know you don't have any of that. Like, once you say all this, you'll be, that's exactly what they are.
After game one, everyone knows what everything is.
Yeah, as long if you're with anybody, you're like, what did he have? And most people just like, by the way, he had X, Y, and Z when you chat, etc. So, look, I believe in open lists personally, but hey, I'm not criticizing anyone. But yeah, so this is our pre-Triple Crown ramble, mainly focused on our lists and general,
and a bit about the surprise and
breakdown. So with that in mind, what is the list breakdown, or rather what are the race breakdown? So this is what we've got.
So unsurprising, Orcs and Goblins up there with 8 players.
Yeah, I think that you said it. Availability of models, the fact they've been around a long time, they've always been a popular army,
and you can do so much with them.
So much, and they're just good in Old World as well.
You can build some fruity.
I mean, for a start, I wonder how many of those are troll hordes.
Yeah,
and I know you don't have your trolls, which are definitely
still no trolls.
Definitely
those keeping a note.
But I think there's such a variety of Orcs and Goblins that you can make genuinely good lists.
They've got some of the most unit entries.
Yep, always have.
They've got an arcane journal with extra stuff in. So
it's not a surprise.
You can get them.
I mean, also we know fanatics are really good.
Yeah. We
know good combat lords on flying creatures are very good. They can do that. We know
mass regeneration,
multi-wound models are good in this edition. Yeah. They've got that nailed down.
Cheap ball throwers,
son of a bitches. Like there's some of their
Arctic and Cav.
Yeah,
they've got everything.
They've got everything. I can totally see why they're a very, very popular army.
Then next up, Tomb Kings and Bretonians, both on 6.
And I'm not one of them.
You're not one of them. And again, available.
Yeah.
Both had arcane journals.
Yeah.
People have had time to paint them.
Yes. Well, there's no surprise. The 3 armies that are quote unquote live are the 3 most popular armies.
Yeah.
And
Again, we couldn't break down what, if any of them are arcade journal lists.
No, it'll be a nice surprise. Hopefully, we'll see some Bretonian exile lists.
Yeah, I think
Which I think
they're a sleeper.
I think they could be quite spicy going forward. To be honest, like cannons, wizards, and knights. Huzzah!
2 cannons, 2 trebs, 400 points. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
You
then,
definitely haven't penciled that list in to build.
And then I've got 1600 points of other stuff to do.
One of which is definitely not a lord flying around with the ogre blade.
Middle lord. They can't take
the maximum lord, but it's still a lord.
Yeah.
It's still a spicy.
They can still
gin.
take 2 of the other lords on Pegasus.
So yeah, no surprise I think at what's most popular.
Yeah.
I think the next one for me is the first surprise.
There's 2 surprises in here, right?
So next up we've got warriors on 5, wood elves on 5, and ogres on 5. The one that stands out for me is wood elves. Mainly because I'm surprised that many people have got them. Because I'd like to play wood elves.
Going back of the years, you were in an average tournament, you'd see maybe one
or two
wood elf players.
Where the hell have you been?
Where have these guys come from?
Like I sold my, as you did, sold our wood elf armies many years ago. We both regret it. But I'm surprised that they're so high up there. Although I'm not surprised because not because they're not good. Because actually, I think they can make some very good lists. I'm more surprised because there's just that many of them.
Yeah, I think their Dragon Lord
is a hell of a build
with the evasive.
That is mental. Sisters of the Thorn, like thank you very much.
Wild Riders.
Screw you, Brolocks. As well.
Yes.
Essentially, they've given Brolocks the treatment that Brolocks gave them in the 8th edition.
Yeah,
they've just traded places, and they're very good and lovely models. Yeah. To be fair,
a well painted wood elf list.
It's something special, isn't it?
Warriors don't surprise us.
No,
strong again.
Availability.
Ogres same. Available.
Very available. And also, I think multi-wound models are good in this edition.
Multi-wound, yeah.
Like, just because of the whole way attacking works.
Because of the step forward.
I think multi-wound models are just inherently good.
Yeah.
Whether that's trolls, ogres, whatever.
Yeah, you have to.
Ushakti.
You have to take off multiple wounds
just to stop
deny attacks. And again available. So out of the top 5 there.
Top 6, top 6.
Six.
I think there's only one shock.
Which
is wood elves.
The next 2 are both surprising.
These are out. These ones caught us. So the next one down on 4 armies represented each are Chaos Dwarfs, of which I am one.
And our good friend from the northeast, Steve, the other one.
So 50% of the Chaos Dwarfs are northern plebs.
Are tall, angry northern men.
With beards and glasses.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not part of a cult. And demons.
Demons is
semi-shock. Semi-shock. Like lots of people have demons from 8th.
But
I think they've taken a hell of a beating in Old World is me initial feeling.
Yeah,
to be fair.
They've taken a bit of a
so yeah, I'm surprised at both of these being popular armies, to be honest. Or as popular.
Chaos Dwarfs.
I mean, who are you other Chaos Dwarf players and how dare you play the same army as me?
I'll be interested. Are they Forge World? Are they third party? Are they
big apt? Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it will be interesting. Also, it'll be interesting to see what kind of list there'll be, because I've seen, like, to be fair, in some other tournaments that I've seen, a lot of people are running a lot of Bull Sentinels and doing a bit of a rush list, which I do actually think is totally feasible.
I like the.
It's all about the beef. It's all about the beef.
The mad cows.
If in doubt, beef it out.
Yep.
But that is a shock, and it's interesting to see what the breakdown of demons are.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that.
See which god's on top.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure Michael's there with his beautifully painted Slash army, unless he's going to absolutely throw a curveball with a different army. But what are the other 3?
You would suspect if they're returning players from 8th, you'd suspect they're going to be
Nurgle, and Esh, or Khorne. I wonder if there's any Zenfair who I actually think have got legs in Old World relative to how I think demons have taken a bit of a beating. But there's a lot of magic missiles coming out of the Zenith army.
Yes, there is.
There's a lot of magic.
And you're not giving away regeneration now.
And you're not making, you're not making the opponent better. So yeah, but I think that whole list shocked us a little bit, didn't it?
On the 3s, we've got dwarves, dark elves, and beastmen.
And for me, another shock in this list.
Yes, beastmen.
I think beastmen are very good. I think they can make incredibly good lists. We've seen them win tournaments. We've had friends who've won two tournaments. Like Andy and Jack,
until recently very available as well.
Yeah, I'm actually genuinely shocked that there's only 3.
I would have put them up there.
Yeah, I'd have expected them to be maybe at the level of kind of where we found warriors and ogres.
Yeah,
up that 5 mark.
5, 6. I wouldn't have batted.
Wouldn't have shocked us. And obviously, this is the list. Like this is the level that you join.
Yep, this is where I'm in. Again, but beastmen, they're another army with multiple builds.
Absolutely, I think when you've got the quote unquote vile tide meta.
Yep.
But also you've got Minotaur list. You've got like
Mass ambush.
Mass ambush. Gorgons are just incredible. I actually think Cygors have really got legs.
Yeah, we talked about a list where you start with 1 Brave Shaman on the board.
Yeah, the build options for Beastmen I think are generally very, very varied.
Obviously, the Vile Tide is rising to the top at the minute, but
it's not the only list available out there.
In time, that one's your immediate jump out. I'm getting on board with this.
Vile Tide, Hag Tree Fetish, Bish Bash Bosh, done.
Another Vile Tide, another
Vile Tide. Like, oh look, I've got 5 or 6 Vile Tides now. It's just.
We'll see where that settles over time.
With that all said, I am really shocked that Beastmen are only on 3.
Next one's shocking as well, but High Elves and VCs.
Now, I am
both
stunned. I'm stunned with both of these, but I'm really stunned at Vamps. One, it's been historically a pretty popular army.
Yep. Good availability.
But some of the builds, and by some, I'm really talking about the Scream list, is absolute filth. But it's not particularly fun to play or play against.
Is this the thing? Is someone the same attitude you had?
And just went,
I'm not playing this for 5 games. It's not fun for me.
It's not fun. Well, that's why I didn't take. We had that a couple of practice games, and it's a filthy army to use. It's so powerful, but my God, it wasn't fun, was it?
No, it wasn't fun to play against. You didn't have fun to
use. Like
traveling 8 hours and then 5 games of that.
Yeah, like. Don't get me wrong, if someone out there does genuinely enjoy it, then like to each their own. I am not like going to dictate who and what people should find fun.
It's a tournament. You bring what you want.
And if you want to play to win, you play to win. You paid your money. You play what you want. Please don't take this as anyone judging.
No,
but it wasn't for me.
No, I didn't enjoy playing it, but we played it for the experience of what can it do.
Yeah.
How do you play it, and how do I counter it?
Like, God.
And I'm pleased I played those 2 or 3 games against
absolutely, definitely.
To know how to deal with it.
Because, but again, at least playing against it, you're only going to play 1 game. For me, I wasn't going to go, like say, travel 8 hours and then play that for 5 games where I'd probably enjoy the games because I'd enjoy the game of Warhammer, and I'm sure I'd have lovely opponents, but I'd have felt I wouldn't have enjoyed the weekend, I don't think.
No, it's not.
But it shocks us that there's only 2 of them.
Yeah. And again, High Elves.
You really think they're sleeper, don't you?
Yeah, again, another army I wish I'd...
Not sold.
Now,
I've never actually, in all the editions of Warhammer, I have never had a High Elf army.
So it's funny, as we're going back to good old 4th, I started with High Elves.
Did you?
And then, when the Dark Elf book came out and they got their first...
Yeah.
And the original Marathi, I switched to the proper elves.
The real elves.
Then when I came back...
And you got all hippie and took elves.
Went High Elves, Wood Elves, and I thought, nah, go back to the proper elves.
Back to the Dark Elves. But yeah, I think surprised at 2 on both of those. Again, High Elves are always historically a popular army.
I just think they're a sleeper.
I don't know if part of it, I think, might be that people are unsure where the best build sits in Old World, and I think maybe they're trapped in 8th edition mindset, and that might be.
Well, I think that's across the whole.
No, I do. I just don't know if it's maybe it's just more stark with high elves for whatever reason, possibly. I mean, to be honest, the builds in 8 for the most part were big horde of either one of two,
Phoenix.
then a couple of Phoenixes, Bolt Throwers, Leman Reavers, Bish Bash Bosh. The list essentially made itself.
Yeah, it was very
net list.
Yeah, you didn't see much variation.
Is the problem with them now that people are struggling to see what really works? Like, you've got your thoughts, and then I've got mine. I think high elves are a very good list. I think there's some really nice and spicy combos there with high elves.
And I think there's some good stuff outside of the dragon. The list.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, the last Derby event, Kyle was running that bull thrower thing chariot with the dude with that gun, not the gun, the guy with the white sword. That's got legs. It's got spicy stuff to build.
I was toying with the all cav list, apart from the bolt throwers.
You love a bolt thrower. I think they're so much better in Old World.
But the anointed on the rusty.
Mm-hmm.
It's still toughness 6, still 6 wounds, not a dragon, but 400 points.
It's a lot cheaper than a dragon. I'm with you. I think high elves have definitely got legs, and I think we will see more of them in time.
I think, yeah.
And always just seen like a lot of people maybe who did play elves are maybe having a break, and that's maybe one of those people who've transitioned. I don't know, orcs and goblins or Bretts because they want to break because they played 8th. Maybe the ones that we're seeing less of now are because we saw more of them in 8th and people are purposely looking for a change of army with a different edition. Feasibly?
Yeah.
It's feasible, I'm just...
at the top, if you look at the top, you can easily go, here are a few good builds.
Definitely. I think that's much harder.
When you go to the bottom...
Where's the good builds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not saying we're better than anyone else. All of that.
God, no. I think the bottom ones are the bottom.
As we'll get on to when we're talking about our lists.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of the reasons we said in our last round, like, we love it so much at the minute. Like, the balance, the meta, whatever you want to call it, is just in such flux at the moment. It's just very exciting.
On to the last ones: Skaven, Empire, and Lizardmen.
Yeah.
How many hours have we spent saying there is Empire or good? There is a good build.
There's a good build. I mean, I've spent how many games have I had with my Empire?
Dozens.
Quite a lot. So and I don't think I've found the right list yet, if I'm honest.
And the same with my list I'm taking to TC.
But I think there's definitely. I mean, we know an absolute gunline list will absolutely work. It will. It will. I'm confident. But I think there's legs for other Empire builds as well.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of... Some of the puzzles are harder to solve than other ones.
That is probably the best summary, I think, of where these lists that are down the bottom end of representation sit. They're not bad armies. They're just a more complicated puzzle.
Not saying that every army is great and all armies are equal.
No.
Some are obviously weaker than others.
All armies are equal, but more equal than others.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Conrad Reed.
Well, we've just put a Labour government in, so it's time to get all socialist.
That was the last guy.
And then one TBC, because of course there's been a dropout that hasn't been confirmed as replaced yet.
Well, no, I think the guy just hadn't. I knew who it was.
Oh, was it? Right,
Yeah,
okay, that might be my misunderstanding.
It was just someone that hadn't submitted his list.
Ah, fair enough. Okay. So, see, we mentioned in there, so we've both gone Legacy Armies.
Yep, I've gone Dark Elves.
And I'm with Chaos Dwarfs. Little bit of reason behind that, I suppose. Well, one, I've played Tomb Kings for a long time, predominantly now, like a couple of years.
Yeah, it's been...
with the odd little break back to VC, but generally, like, for the last couple of years, I've played almost exclusively Tomb Kings with a splash of vampires. In events, that is.
Yeah, you've been solidly the necromancy.
And I mean, I love it. And Undead will always be my most favourite faction of the game. But we're going our next big. Well, we've got the Warhammer World event coming up where you can't use legacy armies.
Yes, so I think that's
the big one, isn't it? So for us, it was an opportunity to actually use our legacy armies and in an event and enjoy them.
For me, it's a lot of the stubbornness. I enjoy Dark Elves, and
you will make them to work.
I will crack the code. And the list I'm taking, which we'll get on to, it's gone to...
It's different. You've gone through how many iterations of this list?
8 or 9. And it's totally changed in concept.
Literally, the only things that are still in it from your first list are 2 of the character options.
Well,
The loadouts are different, but you had both of those to start with from the start, didn't you?
I think I only had one.
Did you?
And the load.
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, the dragon at first, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The 2 of them. So, yeah, I mean, your list is literally, barring one character, it's completely changed from where you started your list, Bill. I mean, that's what I'm loving about Old World at the minute.
That's why, and every time I think I've gone, I'm getting a bit closer.
Yeah.
I'm getting a bit...
And then, you've done a lot. You've then just went, actually, look at this, tangent, off you go.
Yeah.
And I think that's just quite exciting.
But I started on one tangent. Good.
You did. This is it. I've got a code. You've now gone, I found a different code, and off you've gone on something different, which obviously we'll come on to, but I think, we've gone both on Legacy for that kind of reason.
Yeah.
And it's nice use for myself. I'm absolutely looking forward to using a different army for a change. I'm not looking forward to taking leadership tests. If I'm honest, I've seen what they've done to you, and I don't want that to happen.
It's not as damaging.
I can march. I mean, I can't march far with dwarfs, but I can technically march.
But at least the unit's now one of the best changes. You're not fleeing immediately.
Yes,
That's someone breaking.
Yeah. So, yeah, a bit of a change for us, which I suppose that way then takes us into our list.
Go into the list.
Yeah, so into our list. So I think we're going to run through mine first.
Yeah,
so,
yours is up first.
So like I said, I'm taking Chaos Dwarfs, and that's my army.
All painted on time.
All painted on time. That inside joke will come shortly as to why that is a little bit funny tongue in cheek. So most of this was already painted, and I've used a lot of this before. However, I have had to paint.
And amazingly, your Forge World CDs were on the wrong base size.
For 8th edition. They're now on the right size for Old World, because I couldn't get them around on 20mm bases. I'm like, screw this. They're going on 25.
They've been on 25 for
They've been
4 or 5 years.
Let's say they're like 4 or 5 years waiting for Old World. That's exactly what I did. I was just ahead of the game.
You had the dream.
Yeah. So I had to get the Lord painted, which I was really pleased I've actually got done, and I've painted the Bull Centaurs. So for those out there who know sort of how much I don't paint historically, pleased to get it done. And as you can see, the Dreadquake's going to come out, and he's never really played in 8th edition, so we'll come on to the list. So there's a nice army shot. So go through the army itself. So start with characters. So I'm running with 1 level 4 and 1 level 1. Not a huge point sink in characters versus some. With the 50% allowance now, I think you see a lot bigger characters. So like allowance is taken, that is.
I think you see a lot dropped into one character. 500, 600 point characters aren't uncommon.
No, they're not.
Or 2 or 3, 400.
Yeah. So converse that, I've gone with 1 Lord character who is
a pain in the backside.
Yeah, he's 445 points. He is a pain in the backside. That's what he's there for. He's a level 4 wizard. He's taken elementalism. He's on a Lamassau, so he's MR3. He's got a Mantle of Stone, so he's toughness 6. He's got a 5-up ward save, and he picks his spells.
And no magic weapons against him.
And you can't. Yeah, if you're in base contact, no magic weapons against him, which is good.
Yep.
Is nice. Gives him that extra level of protection, and it means he can fly around a bit doing his stuff.
He's not a killer, but he will grind something out.
Yes, he's decent in the grind. He's not good in the grind, but he's decent in the grind.
But if you're taking away someone's
magic weapon,
and
then it makes him a lot better than he was than you would see just on his stats.
And he's toughness 6 and
toughness 6 wounds. Like, it's not to be sniffed at.
You can't magic him off with MR3.
It's a struggle. He's got a Dark Forge weapon, which means if you roll well, you're going to get something, and if you don't roll well, it's no loss. It costs 10 points.
Yep.
It's still a magic weapon.
It's still a magic weapon
with AP1.
No,
And
I
he's
like
there to do
diplomacy.
he's there to do a lot of lifting, and I think on elementalism, picking your spells is just a good combo, and it still gives you then access to some of the shoot.
The character snipe.
The character snipe mod is great. Like toughness test, I'll take like D3 plus 2 strength 5 no armor save or regen.
Yeah, your low
I think
level
it is,
wizard.
whatever it is.
Well, your wizards
and it can target characters that you can like that
in units.
And outside units.
Oh yeah, he's got 360. He's got
not 360. That is the problem because he's a monstrous creature, yes. not a skirmisher. But I'm pleased with the build.
But you can throw him in there because he's.
You can get a little bit ballsy with him because of the MR and the toughness. He's generally decent.
Yeah.
And then the level 1 is literally got sweet F, except the Ruby Ring of Ruin, and he's on Demonology.
So he's taken.
He'll be taking summoning. He's got 2 magic missiles, and he is definitely not there just to babysit war machines.
Yeah, he's looking after the toys.
He is there to look after the good stuff. And that is all he's there for. So that's my characters.
Simple, effective.
Simple, but they do what they'll do.
Yeah,
hopefully.
With no fat.
There's no fat on there. There's no fat, and then we go into core, where there's a whole 7 points of fat. And once again,
the whole core is fat.
All core's fat is 2 units.
Yep.
That's all I've gone with.
Your mandatory. That's one thing the CDs lack.
Our core choices are terrible. They were I mean, you can take Black Orcs,
but then you need to
take a Black Orc character. You have to take a unit of Infernal Guard. That is a restriction in the army. But so that's what I've gone with. Obviously, we tried different lists. I tried a couple of smaller units of Fireglaves. I've tried a big unit of Fireglaves. I've tried multiple units of Hobgoblins. This is where I've settled, and am I saying it's the best setup? Definitely not.
Very 8th edition core.
It's a very 8th edition core. You know, part of us really likes it because of that. So I've gone with a big fat block of 24 Infernal Guard, full command. They've got shield wall. They're drilled. They've got the war banner.
They've got massive static combat rates.
They're a big static combat that is just hard to shift.
They don't give up the points.
They don't give up the points easily, and it's 380 points. It's a decent sink to deny.
380 points isn't a lot of points.
No, but it's enough points. I don't want to lose.
You don't want to come, but on the other side of the table,
with
the banner, the 405 points.
Yeah.
If you take them.
Yes, they are. Oh, yeah. They're worth a lot of points.
But the amount you need to commit to that unit to deal with it.
I mean, you almost guaranteed 2 ranks because they're heavy infantry and all. Like, you're going to take a lot of cavalry before they lose their 2 ranks. They've got a banner. They've got the war banner. They're close order.
Yeah, so
5 before they do anything, and the
heavy armor shield.
Heavy armor shield.
So 4 up.
And the champion's got Sword of Swift Slaying, so goes first. Just because it's hilarious and he has a magic weapon.
It's just
it's a tough block to move.
It's not easy.
Yeah, and that's what they're there for. Toughness 4 base. Yeah. Listen, the core is what the core is with Chaos Dwarfs. There's not a lot of fat on the bones there at all.
Obviously, to disrupt them, you've got to have a unit strength of 10.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, like I say, the fact that they've got drilled and shield wall is just quite a good combo as well.
Yeah. So they're stubborn. So the first time they hit, you give them ground.
That's it. Yeah. It's nothing jazzy, but I think it's a good solid block.
You take a heavy cav, some demi grips or cold ones or whatever in the front and go, I'll have to come back 2 inches.
Yeah.
Oh, you've lost your
and now we're into the grind.
You've lost your lancers.
And that's what they're there for. They're there to grind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the hobgoblins are just flat out big fat block of 40 hobgoblins with short bows and a champion. And the champion is only there for the extra pip of leadership because they are horde, warband, levies.
So base leadership 4, 5?
Base leadership I think there's 5 for the champion. It's terrible.
Yeah. So your leadership 8 while you've got 3 ranks.
Yeah, but again,
that's still terrible. But the
fill the core, that whole big block is 127 points, so it's nothing really. Will they die? Almost certainly. Is it a big chunk of shooting though? Like, yeah, it is. If volley fire and 25 shots,
it's not going to go again. It's not going to go easily.
Short bows are quick to fire as well, so they can always stand and shoot. The reroll charge distances if I want to throw them forward, and then it's still 10 attacks. 11 attacks with the champion.
If you get into the flanks,
They reroll to hits. Oh no, to wounds, sorry.
They get
something. It's not a very jazzy core, but it is a core.
It's a core.
And it does what it says in the tin.
Yeah.
The area of the army that I think is always the best for Chaos Dwarfs and where the fun toys and the spiciness happens.
Special and rare.
It's special. And that's what I've gone with. I've gone something a little bit different on this one. So I've gone double Death Shrieker.
Arguably best war machine in the game.
I think that could definitely be argued. They're only strength 6, so you fire them up fire them in 2 ways. One's small template, where under the hull is strength 6,
but multi wounds D6.
D6, and it's AP 3 under the hull. So it has the capacity to do 6 wounds in 1 turn.
Yeah.
Which not many war machines have now.
No,
at all.
Great Cannons max out at 4.
4.
So it's more swingy.
It's more swingy, but the threat potential is huge.
Yeah.
And having 2 of them, I think, is the way forward. The other thing they can do is fire the big pie, where it's just a huge 5-inch strength 3 template. No AP.
Armor Bane?
Armor Bane, I think it has. So, brilliant. That is a big pie to take out blocks.
Yeah. Again, with elementalism.
You're talking Plague of Rust.
Plague of Rust.
Armor. This is where the synergy of having that lord with elementalism line comes in. You love elementalism, I know, and I'm sure that'll be brought up shortly.
No,
I love Death Shriekers. I think and for their points, they're so good. 120 points is just incredible.
They're the same as a cannon.
Yeah, they're the same as a cannon, but I think they're better.
I would argue they are. And with the Chaos Dwarf
reroll, yeah.
The engineers, yes, Empire can get engineers.
Aye. And then, so the next one is something I know you're not a huge fan of, but it's going to my Chaos Dwarf list because I absolutely love the model of my Iron Demon.
You were a massive fan of Thomas the Tank Engine as a kid.
In 8th edition, I ran 2 of them.
You tried a list with 2 of them.
I tried a list with 2. It didn't really work, did it? What they are now is very expensive.
They've been punished for the sins of the past.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see why. Only nice guys run Chaos Dwarfs, and even nicer guys run Iron Demons.
And really nice guys run 3 of them.
And really nice guys run 3 of them. They have been nerfed a lot since 8th edition. That all said, they're still 7 wounds, toughness 7, strength 8, heavy chariots, with a slightly poo organ gun on the back.
Yeah, and a slightly poo thunderstomp.
Yes, because it can't be used against behemoths, which is a problem. However, it's still D6 plus 1 impact. It's at strength 8, AP 2. Its gun is an 18-inch range, fires 2 artillery dice, strength 5, AP 1, with armor bane.
It's a big point thing.
It's a big point thing, and it's hard to shift because it's 7 wounds strength, 7 wounds, toughness 7, 6 up ward save.
It's a toughness 7.
Yeah. It stops Viletide getting it.
Stops.
Almost everything moves on a 6, except war machines.
And a good lord is wounded on a 4.
Yeah, the big boys out there.
Yeah.
And it can't be killing blood because it's a heavy chariot.
Yeah, it's
a defense. It's unbreakable, and more importantly than that, guys, it's a train. It's a death train. Come on, people. Who doesn't love?
It's Thomas the Tank Engine from your nightmares.
It absolutely is.
And then my favourite unit.
And then your favourite, the Bull Centaurs, which finally got painted for this. A unit of 3 with a champ. Great weapons.
There's a lot of debate locally about them.
Yeah, there is, and amongst our group now. I've only test played them now a few times now. To be fair, I think they've got legs.
I think they've got 4 of them.
They've got 4 of them. I think an army with multiple Bull Centaurs will do well.
Yeah.
I think competitively, they're better. You'd be better off dropping the Iron Demon and going 2 units or 3 units of these Bull Centaurs.
They're not. They can't take a punch. Toughness 4.
Toughness 5.
Toughness 5, 4 up
But
save.
they've only got a 4 up save, and that's a 5 up in combat.
Yeah. But the impact hits.
Each model does D3. Strength is only 4. But it's AP 2.
That's it.
And that's the big one. They've also got Swift Stride. They're stubborn.
Their impact hits into knights.
Ah, incredible. Like 3d3.
And then great weapons.
And then great ones. So they've got, weirdly, they've only got 2 attacks each, which is weird.
Don't have a stomp.
Don't have a stomp because of the impact hits.
But impact hits, initiative 10.
Are just so good, yeah. So yeah, they're a bit of a counterpunch that the army otherwise really lacks, to be honest.
I really like them. I think
I do. At one point, now that I've painted them, they're always going to go on the list because I painted them.
We've discussed it. There is an argument for having 2 units.
I think fundamentally 2 units of 4 of those is better than 1 unit of 3 and a steam tank. The Iron Demon rather. However,
you love Thomas.
No one's leaving without the train. Like, we're on the train to TC, people. So yeah, that's the special. It's the most exciting area of the list. It's the thing I look forward to playing the most. That's where a lot of the fun is.
On your side of the table, other side of the table.
Oh yeah, cringy on the other side, but I think it's fun. And then the final thing in the list as we go into rare is the little scene in 8th edition, very well used in the Warhammer The Old World game, Total War Warhammer rather, because by all accounts they're incredible. And finally, they're good on the tabletop.
They are.
And for their points, they are 185 points. Again, so similar to the Destria, this only fires the big template. Big pie, it's strength 3, under the hole, strength 6, d6 wounds, and that's another thing. But within 2d6 of the centre of the hole, dangerous terrain, -1 movement,
and no swift
strike.
Is it dangerous terrain as well? I thought it was just.
It might only be -1 movement and not swift strike action.
Yeah,
I think you might be right.
I think
I was getting carried away.
Your pre-tournament cheating.
Yeah, just cheating before we start.
So you can say it convincingly.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was just -1 move and
not swift strike. Yeah, I think you might be right. Actually, yeah, I think you are right. Yes, you are.
But that.
Sorry, it used to be dangerous terrain in 8th edition.
Yeah,
not
but that
difference.
Is massive, and it hasn't got the caveat of units without fly.
No, it does not have that caveat at all. It does have the issue that without the Ogre Loader, you've got to roll a dice every time you shoot it on a 1 or 2. It can't shoot next turn. I have obviously paid for the Ogre Loader.
Then it's a 2.
It's only on a 1. But I think for the points, it's absolutely worth the risk.
But it just slows everyone down.
Slows everyone down. Not only that, I think what we can all agree is it's a beautiful model.
What size base is that?
That is a 200 by 60 base.
Go big or go home.
It's a large base to fit that model on.
And you don't have to deploy it.
And yeah,
lengthways.
Yeah, it can go any direction you want. Because it's a war machine, it's there for a skirmisher, it's there for got a 360-degree vision.
So you can go in wide or you can
go in wide, you can go in long. And yeah, that's the Chaos Dwarf list. It's a couple of big units in core, and then otherwise it's all about the toys. It's all about the guns, it's all about the beef, whether that beef be small and special or flying in characters.
Having played it multiple times now, it is problematic because that list screams I will need to run at it.
Yeah.
But that Earthshaker just messes everything up.
It's a pain in the arse, isn't it?
The amount of failed charges or impossible charges.
It's that 1 inch and losing swift strike makes a massive difference, doesn't it?
There's just nowhere easy. The load doesn't give up points easily.
Yeah, there's not a lot of easy points in the list, I don't think.
The hobgoblins aren't that many of them. They're not easy.
No, there's still 40 wounds.
But not many points.
Also, like, if you kill the hobgoblins, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about the hobgoblins.
There's already 100 odd points, so.
Yeah. So I'm happy with the list. We played lots of quite a few chess games, and this is what we ended up on, and happy with it.
I think it's got legs.
I've enjoyed the games with it. That's the biggest thing for me. It's stuff I want to play. It's nice to roll dice.
It's lovely seeing some different units.
Yeah. So that's
you didn't see the Dreadquake.
Didn't see it in 8, did you?
Didn't see the Bulls.
No, very rarely. Andy played them. That was about it because they were crap.
You didn't see the Lord and the Lamassu?
Nah, not for me. I think you were better off. Again, I know some people did, but for me, they weren't really that good. And I think they're better in this edition.
It had the Lord, the monster dragon.
Yeah.
Cannon off issue.
Yeah, exactly. And I nearly went with the Hell Cannon. It was a real close call between the Iron Demon and other things, or the Hell Cannon.
That says it all. Two deep sighs. That says it all.
But I think this is it. I'm happy to play the list, and obviously we'll review how well it does after the event. But I'm happy with the list.
And in a twist of irony, you've got Mortuary Cult. Game
one.
And
yeah, game one, I've got Tomb Kings, and I think it's Mortuary Cult. What is guaranteed is I'm playing Nick, who is a lovely, lovely guy. But yeah, it was almost fate that I would draw Mortuary Cult game one. I know their games, and it's going to be a tough game.
It will be
a tough game. It'll be a really tough game.
We don't know what.
We don't know what his list is, and I'm just assuming it's Mortuary Cult because, well, why wouldn't it be?
If you sit down and there's a character, a general on a dragon, you'll sit there going,
I've never been happier. Plus, unless he's got the magic weapon, the magic item, he'll be flammable and dry as dust. In which case, all of my war machines are roughly off flaming. That will not go well for him. But I don't think he runs that, to be fair to him. I think he runs Mortuary Cult without a dragon. I would love it if he does bring a dragon, though, to be honest. And I don't say that very often.
But to be fair, your Death Shriekers, Big Pie, he's not going to be able to
hide,
regenerate them quickly enough.
No, not the units. No, so but we'll see. Like, I'm looking for because I know it's
going to be a good game.
Knowing Nick, I'm going to have a good game turn one.
It's a nice way to start your tournament.
It will absolutely set win, draw or lose. It'll set the tournament off to a really good start, like from an enjoyment point, and that's what the weekend's all about.
Definitely.
So with that.
Right, on to mine. No pictures! Because as alluded to, this list has gone through so many changes, I'm very much behind on the painting. Painted a load of stuff I'm not taking.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is nice, you painted lots of stuff that are no longer in your list.
Yeah, but I've got a few days of pretty intensive painting.
You have.
The list originally started with Triple Cryptus.
Triple Cryptus and then a Beastmaster on a Manticore.
Yeah.
Which was wild.
But none of them exist in the list now.
Not a single one. Not a single one. Yeah, this has really changed, to be fair, hasn't it?
It's gone through it. So just go through it. We've gone for the Master on the Cold One Chariot, and he's only got a great weapon.
Yeah. It's
points.
Points. He does provide a decent leadership bubble.
It's leadership 9. He's got the pendant, which is
the better blessing of the lady.
Yeah, 4 up ward against a strength 5, 5 up ward against strength 4 or lower.
It's such a good item. So good.
And great weapon.
Well, he's got Elven reflexes.
He does have
strike first, whatever the hell it's.
No, he's got strike first because
he's a master
character.
Yes.
He's got the great weapon that strikes last.
So he balances off initiative 7?
6 or 7.
Yeah, either way.
But because he's on the Cold One Chariot, the Cold One Chariot has
Elven
reflexes for everything except the mounts.
So he gets that.
He gets it.
Yeah, because he gets a package.
Yeah. So he's
given +1 initiative turn 1.
Yeah, first round of combat. Cold One Chariots are just generally good.
They're good, yeah. It makes them pretty defensive as well.
So he's on a 2 up save for shooting.
Not to be sniffed at.
2 up, 4 up, or 5 up.
Yeah. He's good. He's hard as shit.
Heavy Charity impact hits D6 +1.
Yeah.
-2. 2 knights, weapon skill 5 on the charge, strength 5, AP 1.
I actually think it's pretty. Well, we kind of mentioned it similar to the high elf build that we mentioned earlier from that Kyle ran at Derby. I think chariots have got serious legs with elves especially.
With elves, I think it boosts. It's the toughest boost.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially heavy chariots.
Also can't be Killing Blood,
Also can't be Killing Blood.
which is, in the current world, just nice.
Nice. Then we're going to the first sorceress.
Sorceress 1.
Young Marathi.
Young Marathi.
Level 4 on elementalism. On a dark peg. With the black staff, which is basically I can roll 3 dice when I cast.
It's good.
And 3 focus familiars.
Not 1, not 2, but 3.
3.
Focus
Focus
familiars are
familiars
incredible.
are immense. They basically, you place them within 12 inches and your range and line of sight is measured from that. So you can be on a peg with high movement, you can make sure you're out of the spell range, and every spell, well, 3 times, you've got an extra 12 inches.
Again, played this against this a lot. Focus familiars are just so good.
Or you can be hiding behind a unit.
Yeah.
And casted.
The mobility and defensiveness it gives you while still giving that threat is just quite special, to be honest. I really think so.
Then we've got young Marathi's younger sister.
Wee Marathi.
Wee Marathi. Again on elementalism. Again on a dark Pegasus. With the ruby ring. 3 focus familiars.
Oh my god.
And the book, which gives her an extra spell.
I hadn't realised you've got this one back up to 3 focus familiars in your list either, man. That is 6 focus familiars to burn through.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's savage.
So, and keep them relatively safe.
Well, it just gives things like Plague of Rust a massive range. It gives things like
Plague of
Wind
Rust,
Blast a
turn 1.
brilliant range.
I can
Again,
do it.
turn 1.
Wind Blast while hiding behind another unit.
Even the elemental spirits, so you can get vortexes flying around the opposition's deployment without you even having to come out. Can't get dispelled because of the range. Oh, it's mean.
Key spells for them both. Plague of Rust.
Yeah.
Obviously, matchup dependent.
Yeah, of course.
Wind Blast.
Guaranteed. Yeah.
Favorite magic missile.
Amazing.
Elemental spirits.
Such a good vortex, you know. Is it D3 plus 3, strength 4, AP 1?
Yep.
Incredible.
Blocks line of sight.
Blocks
as well.
line of sight, dangerous terrain.
Yep.
I haven't made that one up with that. This one really is dangerous terrain.
Then you've got Earthen Ramparts.
Ramparts. It's for that 5-up ward.
5-up ward, especially on them when they're not packing a ward. I'm not going to be charging.
You're not going to be charging. You're not going to be marching because it'll stop you casting.
On elements of my core.
Yeah. Oh no, I think. Seriously think.
And then Black Horror is the Dark Elf signature.
It's good. And this has hurt me.
Big pie, D6 strength hits.
Yeah, but it moves 2d6 as well, doesn't
Yeah.
it? So this is nasty.
And it's D6
Strength test.
Everyone failed.
Dies.
Wound.
Yeah, just a wound. Flat.
A wound. It doesn't kill, but
it's take d6 strength tests for every failed test. The unit takes a wound.
Yeah.
I think it's good. It's good, and because it's a big pie, it hits lots of things.
Yeah, and it moves everywhere.
And because it's 2d6 move, it's just such a threat. And again, combining with those focus familiars, your threat range is
massive.
It's massive, especially when you can fly 10 without marching, so you can cast naturally. But it just means your threat range is essentially anywhere you want it to be. And because I know they don't have a ward, but you'll come onto your rest of your army shortly.
But with the focus familiars, I don't need to be aggressive with them.
No,
I can
absolutely
hide them.
not. You can hide them, and you've got lots of ways to stop them getting targeted.
The only thing they need line of sight for is the magic missiles.
Yeah. But if for whatever reason you don't have line of sight, you've still got
focus
you've got
familiar.
vortexes
Yeah.
as well, all focus familiars.
So
Good.
the only question is the Lord. I'm not 100% on
Oh,
him.
the Master. Yeah. I know what you mean. You've not tested him enough. He was a very late addition.
Yeah.
I do think he's a solid little build. I think he's not that expensive. He's hard to kill.
Yeah. And he's gives it a bit of counterpunch.
That's exactly what he does. He actually, D6 plus 1 impact hits is not to be sniffed at. And then 4 attacks from the cold ones at strength 4.
Yeah, Armor Bane 1.
2 attacks from the knights. And then his 3 attacks at strength 6. Alright, he's not He's
Oh,
not
he's
a
not a
lord.
blender lord.
He's not a blender lord. He's not a lord on a dragon. He's not flying around with the ogre blade. However, he's not to be sniffed at.
No.
He's not to be sniffed at. He's got 5 wounds. No, more.
6.
More 6 wounds. Yeah, with good protection. I think he's.
Oh, he's
I can
good.
catch some people out as well. You know.
Obviously, I've got the stupidity, but stupidity isn't
It's not
what it was.
It's not as bad. It's not much.
If it happens on your go turn, you're kind of a bit.
That's a bugger, but that's a risk.
But at least you know about it before.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, because it's start a turn.
Start a turn, so you know, so you can go, right, plan around it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, into the core. Unsurprisingly, with Dark Elves,
That is a lot of horses.
9 Dark Riders, crossbows, spears, shields, and Scout.
I like the scout.
Times 2. So
Yeah, it's literally
18.
the same unit twice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Essentially, you've got 2 blocks of 9 Dark Riders scouting.
Yeah. So depending on the opponent, depending on their setup, I can deploy them in open order, I can skirmish them,
Yeah, the flexibility it gives you is incredible.
I can go their flanks, I can go,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's 18 crossbows coming in.
Yeah. Again, it's just a good. When you combine it with Plague of Rust as well from the Wizards,
Yeah.
the synergy is when it starts to come out. Like that's a lot of low strength fire that hits pretty frequently, because even with long range, when you do move, even when you've got long range, even when you're multi-shotting, still 6s.
And in a line, if they're in a line of 9, going in someone's flank.
Oh, they hurt in combat when they're in open order and they're in a line. They are nasty.
They can break flanks.
Oh, absolutely. Like they're still weapon skill 4,
I'm skill 4, strength
strength
4
4
on
on
the
the charge with AP 1. I think that like it's the fact that the scout as well. Again, this way the flexibility of your list becomes.
Yeah. And Triple Crown a rule that scouts don't count to drops.
Yeah. Otherwise, you weren't scouting them, were you?
Yeah. So I'm really low on. I'm actually really low on drops.
Yes. Well, you'll see shortly, but I mean, the total drops you have is not many.
No, not many at all. And then
So really push you for those first turn.
then we've got 7 Dark Riders who can't scout because of rules.
But rules.
They've got Fire and Flee for no other reason than it gets us bang on 500 points.
Yeah, I mean it's quite spicy hitting 500 points on the nose for your core in 3 units of very fast, very flexible bods.
Yep. And no banners, so I'm not giving up any extra points.
Yeah,
No musicians, no nothing. It's
literally just bods. Bods on horses.
yep, with guns.
Bods on horses with guns. It's the dream.
Then
I think that cause it's wild. It's fast, it's shooty, it's flexible, and it almost guarantees you're getting +1 for first turn because of the double scout.
yeah, I think it
And it's very thematic when as you get through.
and it forces deployment choices.
Yeah.
Because your list, you've got a very low count list. You've either got to turtle up or spread out.
Yeah. I like it. I think the threat it gives, I think it gets in your opponent's mind, and you can react and you can dictate and you can control the board. And I think a large portion of the game is won or lost, as ever with fantasy, in deployment, movement, board control. If you can dictate those things, then you are possibly onto a winner.
We'll see.
We'll see. And they're fun.
They're fun.
They're fast.
Dark Riders are always
Then you're special, eh?
special. Very simple. Double blocks of Cold One Knights.
Very symmetrical.
Yep. 6 of them with full plate. So they're rocking toughness 4 elves.
Yeah, that caught me out when we were playing, didn't it? I was like, what do you mean the toughness 4? This is nonsense.
Toughness 4, weapon skill 5, strength
Yeah.
4, 2 up armor save,
So strength 6 on the charge. And the
initiative 5.
Yeah.
So first initiative 6 plus their charge. And then the cold ones.
I think because cold ones are good anyway, and because they're now base strength 4, I think what it also gives is they've got some grind ability as well.
And this is where the Cryptuses live, and my problem with them. The big monsters, which I do love, but they're so slow.
They are so slow. This list is fast.
Yeah.
And the Charybdises were not.
Were not. They're excellent when you got them into combat.
Oh, amazing.
But with move 6 and no Swift Strike, that was the
lack of Swift Strike hurt, didn't it?
That was the real killer.
Yeah.
Well, these guys move 7
with Swift Strike.
Yeah.
And
first charge as well. So.
Yeah, and as you can see there, the entire core and special and characters
are all mounted.
100% mounted.
Yeah.
And the fact that the cold ones are toughness 4, the fact they've got a 2 armor save makes
Weapon skill 5.
Makes them hard to kill. Them makes them hard to shoot off the board as well. Though toughness 4 and a 2 armor save
and 2 attacks from the cold ones.
They kick out some damage. They definitely kick out some damage.
And the old maxim of what's better than 1 unit of them? 2.
It's very symmetrical.
Again, no banners, no champions, no command. I'm just going, I'm going to break you.
Well, unless there's scenarios, and there's not at this event, but unless at future events there's scenarios that mean banners matter, they actually, other than the +1 combat res, they're giving up points.
I'm going to struggle with Watchtower. I've got nothing that can actually...
It's not Watchtower though, it's Watch Hill.
Watch Hill.
So you're alright. So in this event, you're okay. You lucky wee devil.
Well, the basic plan was stop everything. If you kill everything.
Yeah, well, the idea is if everything's dead, then nothing can hold the centre.
Yeah.
But no. I like it. It's different.
Trying to crack the code.
Trying to crack the code.
And then the last little
Your
bit.
favourite part, other than the characters. Not
3
one.
bolt throwers.
Not 1. Not 2. 3 repeater bolt throwers.
Again, vastly underrated.
I think in Old World, bolt throwers are now better than they were.
Much better. I think
Is it AP3?
AP3. So it's not
Strength.
no armour save.
No, but Strength 6, AP3, multi-wound 2.
And through, doesn't rely on a kill.
No, it's just going through regardless. And I think in a world where there's arguably going to be some dragons.
Yep. It's going to be chariots.
It's going to be chariots. And then even when there's not, they're repeater bolt throwers.
And elven ones with the ballistic skill of 4.
Yeah, it means even at long range, you're hitting on 4s. You're pretty much hitting on 4s all the time.
Well, 3s as soon as they come within 24 inches.
Yeah.
As soon as they leave their deployment zone.
Yes. Yeah. It's a lot of threat. To be honest, I think it's a lot of threat.
With what the wizards can pump out, with all the little crossbow shots, and with the bolt throwers.
It's death by 1,000 cuts, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's this
got
list.
to come.
And then you've got those 2 blocks of Cold One Knights and your chariot.
And even the Dark Riders.
For that bit of there's punch in there. There's punch in there. But it's a list that is death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, it's not going to blow anything off the board in one go unless you leave me within double wind blast range.
When you literally get blown off the board.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the fully mounted list bar and the war machines. I love the amount of low.
Its volume.
Its volume of fire. The low strength, high volume fire. I think when you combine that with elementalism and what that brings to the table, I think it's interesting. I think it's a really interesting list. I think it's very different. It's not.
As we've seen, I've got to watch how many beers I drink.
Yes,
because
you do. Once you lose control of where you're going,
if you make a mistake with position, it's very finesse.
Yeah, it is a finesse list.
If you try and go,
it's not a brute force list.
No, if you try and play it like that, it's going to end badly.
Yeah, and don't get too aggressive too quick with stuff.
Which
definitely didn't do in practice. Yeah, definitely didn't get carried away. But no, I think.
But I'm hoping that it. I think there is some stinking draws out there.
Oh, absolutely. Well, your first game is against.
My first game is against Demons of Chaos, which.
Now, I don't think we know the person you're playing.
No, name unfamiliar. But Demons of Chaos, it isn't I could be playing 4 different lists.
Yeah, you could. You really could. And what you don't have is high volume of. I say the high volume. You've got 2 Wind Blasts and you've got a Ruby Ring, which they won't get their ward or regen saves against.
Yeah.
And that is big.
But there's not like them.
That's it.
They don't carry much armor, so.
No, exactly. It'll be an interesting matchup. I think it'll really depend what you're playing.
It'll be what flavour, what god comes to play.
Yeah, will it be Slanesh? And we'll have the traditional Dark Elf Slanesh battle for supremacy. There's a good chance it'll be Nurgle. If it's an existing threat, who knows?
25%.
I'm going to go slightly more because I think I've got a slightly less chance of it being Zenith, who we all deep down know is the best god.
But we'll just see. We'll just see. There's
guaranteed that because you like the list, you'll have a good time.
Oh yeah, it'll be a great event, and there's five of us going from the northeast.
Yep. So there's ourselves, and then there's Steve, and Jack. From concert. So yeah, 5 of us going down. Not as many as that normally travel. Not as much of us that normally travel. Just for various different reasons, I think, to be honest.
Well, I think, back in like we've said, back in the day, there wasn't many tournaments.
Well, many tournaments. It's a long travel, and some people aren't up for it.
Well, it's a double day off work.
And there's also lots of non-gaming stuff going on in people's lives at the minute that we know, which is it's a shame there's not more from the north going down. And then slightly further down south, I think, is Liam going to this? Oh no, is he not? Has he got a wedding or something? There's lots of non-stuff going on. Non-Warhammer stuff.
It's like after 2 days of work.
Oh yeah, well we'll be setting off really early on the Friday morning, making a full day of the travel down there, get down there, and then have a nice evening.
And 5 of us will be able to defend our title at the quiz.
Yes.
For Triple Crown on the Saturday night.
I know.
They do a pub quiz.
The quiz, which we've never lost. No pressure.
New law.
I know, that's the problem.
New law.
New stuff. We don't like change. Yeah, so there are lists.
That's it.
And that's the event we're going to. It's guaranteed to be a good event because it's a Triple Crown event, and they're always good.
It'll be interesting because normally there were 40 odd.
It's a big. 60 people is a big event.
It's a big event.
It's a big event.
New location. So there's a lot. We know the guys. They'll do a bang up job.
The guys will absolutely. They have never not done a cracking job. So that will be. That's a given. Hopefully the venue won't have the feel of the old one.
No.
But the move is absolutely the right thing to get more people at an event.
Definitely.
Definitely looking forward to it. It's gonna be good. I'm looking forward to our lists. See how we get on.
We'll probably do. We'll aim to get another podcast out in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, hopefully when we get back from Triple Crown, we'll get some time in that week and we'll do a review. You will try to take some photos this time.
Yes, I will try. I make no promises.
I will also attempt to take some photos, but again, I will make no promises because we're rubbish. And it normally happens on game 1 and then we forget.
Yep. So, and then, who knows, we might have seen some dwarfs by then.
Oh, God, hopefully. Yeah.
They're going to release the dwarves the weekend we're playing at a tournament when we need to get online at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Sons of bitches.
They will.
They will. So, yeah. Watch this space for our write-up, or rather our podcast review. We're looking forward to it a lot. And for anyone who isn't travelling to Triple Crown, or anybody who is, and they're looking for other events, the link will be in the description for our event that is happening in October in Newcastle, at Newcastle Airport. Free parking, there's tickets still available. We'd love to have you attend. Nice and accessible. Pack will be in this. Everything will be in the description.
Run by some really great guys.
And Stan.
And I
So yeah, and I think
think that's it.
That's
so
us. That's a wrap.
See you all in 2 weeks.
thanks very much, guys. Till next time.
Good night.